everyone, this is Radhika Dhir, and today, on the occasion of World Mental Health Day, I'm here to share my views on mental health. People, I personally believe that mental health is something about which we don't often talk. Why? Because maybe we are too embarrassed or we feel ashamed of it. I personally believe that any problem or any mental stress we are facing, when we share it or when we express ourselves to our loved ones or the people who are close to us, we feel better, and that's the best cure, in fact. But today, instead of sharing facts or definitions with you, I did love to share a real life story, a real life incident with you. It's about a man named Will Wheaton. He's a 45-year-old American writer, a famous actor, and a social activist. In an interview with the paper, he spoke openly about his problem. He started by saying that I have a lovely wife, two adult children who often make me proud, and I live with chronic depression. Yes, I use the word with because no matter how hard my mental illness tries, I don't let it define me, I don't let it control me, and I refuse to get stigmatized by it. He began sharing his story by saying that at the early age of 7 or 8, he had panic attacks. But his family often took it as bad nightmares or bad dreams. And he too, at that very young age, didn't understand what was actually happening with him. He remembers that at the age of 11 or 12, he had done the movie Stand By Me, which gained him a lot of fame and he became a famous man. But as time passed, he was not able to handle his stardom. He felt anxiety. He was scared to talk to people. He was scared to meet people. And every night when he got those panic attacks, he would go and sleep on the floor of his sister's bedroom because he felt the safest out there. His parents were often given complaints by his directors and producers that it was becoming difficult to work with him. He would forget his lines, he would just act differently. Some people thought he was being rude, some people thought it was attitude problem, but nobody ever realized what he was facing from inside. And this continued for the coming years. At the age of 22, in his early 20s, he had the fear of boarding planes, he had the fear of meeting people, he had the fear of losing people, and so many other fears. He was scared, he was facing anxiety, stress, mental illness, and so many things. He said that one night I was driving back home, I was so scared, I went straight into my sister's bedroom and I slept on the floor again because that was the safest place for me. I, since my childhood, couldn't share anything with my parents. My parents knew that there were a few relatives of mine who were facing mental illness, who had also faced mental illness in the past. But what society thought at that time was that mental illness with children is the result of poor parenting. Hence, you know what happened. He also says that at the age of my early 30s, I had matured, I had realized what was happening to me, I had known that it was a mental illness and it could be cured. But still, I suffered for another 15 years. Why? Because he was ashamed. He was ashamed that what will people think about him. He was scared of sharing his experience, he was scared of sharing his problems with somebody else. He suffered for another 15 years, and finally, at the age of 45, when he was way better and way okay from before, he shared his story because he doesn't want any other child or any other student or any youngster to hide his problems or not share it with anybody and face the same problems. He's trying to instigate the youth that no matter what you think the society thinks about you, you have to express yourselves, you have to be open about it. Look, when you are facing mental depression, that's not a bad thing. That is something that happens commonly with so many people. Even in our country, 1.3 million people are suffering from mental illness. He said that my parents loved me a lot. Their parenting was perfect. But I would tell you people that whenever you face any problem like that, you should share it with somebody. You should not hesitate, because as you grow up, this becomes a bigger problem, and you have to just share your feelings with somebody. To conclude, I would say that we shouldn't be ashamed. We shouldn't be embarrassed of what problems we are facing. We should always share them with somebody else. Thank you.